in agreement with the applicant and the way they've gone through the process and what they've done to make it fit and make it right and make it tolerable for our community. So I wish them nothing but the best and hope that this shelter works for Washington, and it's an attribute, not a detriment to our community. So I well wish for that, I guess is what I'm saying. I know I've been the voice of against it for a while, but I just want to say, again, thank you to the applicant in the process. It's not easy, but not to go against and then put our city at risk of a lawsuit. It is the right way to go forward. So again, thank you to them, and we'll appreciate a vote. Thank you.
Other comments? Okay. I think we need a roll call vote, Sherry.
An ordinance approving the issuance of a special use permit for a temporary shelter located at 2132 Highway A in the city of Washington, Missouri. Hydrich?
No.
Briggs?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Yes.
Coulter?
No.
Bear?
Yes.
Reed?
No.
I'm sorry, you said no?
No.
Wessels?
Aye.
By vote, the ordinance passes.
5-3.
If I could say something, Jeff, thank you for stating the obvious. This was not an easy process at all, you guys. It's emotional, but trust me when I say that the discussion was respectful and quite passionate at times. And I would ask you to, one, please realize that we've got a heck of a good bunch of people up here on the council who want nothing better than what's best for our community. And two, I wish our applicants well, and we have a lot of confidence in you guys to run it like it should be run. And if there's anything we can do as a city, please let us know. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract with Specialized Commercial Coatings, LLC, for painting of the Heritage Park caboose.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
Evening, council. In your packet tonight is a ordinance for the painting of the caboose at Heritage Park. Since I've been the director since January 2019, the caboose has been in need of a paint job and has only deteriorated since then. When I started, I talked with admin and we thought we might be able to come up with a donation for this project. It never developed, and then COVID hit and things like that. However, Tyler King of Downtown Inc., he would like to have been here and was scheduled to be here, but then had a falling out, or the babysitter had a falling out tonight, and so he could not make it. But he did help us secure, through downtown, a $2,000 grant to help get the caboose painted, because they do use it, or would like to use it possibly for future Christmas holiday events down there. And we got a $2,000 grant from Union Pacific through downtown for this project. The project was put out to bid. We received 3 bids ranging from $13,800 to $45,000. Specialized Commercial Coatings can do in the bid, I asked that the project be completed by December 5th, or at least before Christmas, and they seem to have no problem with that. It is weather dependent, but even with the cold weather next week, they think we'll have some warm days and they'll be able to get the job done before the holidays. And so before you have an ordinance to get the caboose painted by Specialized Commercial Coatings, LLC, for $13,800.
Wayne, how is the inside of that caboose? Is that
The inside's not, it's okay, there's some peeling paint and stuff like that, but that was out of the budget, and if we want to do anything with that, we'll have to do it at another time.
save the outside first.
Yeah, get the outside looking good first. I've had a lot of complaints, concerns about the looks of it, so. There is some metal work that needs to be done on it first, and Bleckman's was gonna do that prior to the paint company showing up.
Other discussion? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract with Specialized Commercial Coatings LLC for painting of the Heritage Park caboose. Hydrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Patke,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Coulter,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Wessels.
Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the acceptance of a quote from COE Equipment, Inc. for the purchase of a 6-inch lateral launch camera system and amend the 2022-2023 budget.
Hydrich.
Okay, introduced by Hydrich.
Good evening, council. Yes, what this is this is a 6-inch lateral launch camera system that we're going to add to our camera trailer equipment system that we have. We currently have an 8-inch system that we use that we can get into laterals as we go through 8-inch lines. This will allow us to get into the 6-inch lines, which in this area is the majority of the lines, and also inspect and view what the service laterals look like. So if we have a resident that calls and says, I got a sewer backup, what we do now is we show up, we run our camera through. If there's nothing in the main, we let them know that the main's clear and you're on your own. This will give us the ability to go in, find out where that blockage could be, and then notify the resident that, say, 10 feet in off the back of the curb, you've got a blockage in your line. We'll also be able to use it for some of the, we do a cost share program now with the residents, and we have to do some inspecting on that. It'll give us the opportunity to do that too from the outside. And it's just going to be a really good investment for the community. I am asking for a budget amendment because when I went out for bid for this for budget numbers, which was in July, the budget came in a little under, the numbers came in a little over 76,000. But in 3 months, the price went up by 3,000. So it's it's an increase from the manufacturer for this.
Kevin, how's that, that helping out, that system you got where there's a blockage between and the city was going, if they agreed to do the whole line instead of just, how's that working out? Are people taking advantage of it?
Yeah,
I would defer that to John.
yeah, I can, we anticipated around 20 a year is what our budget number was on this program. I believe we're up to around 11 right now. Some of the feedback that I've been getting is the ones who have taken advantage of it, they indicated that they would not have been able to fix what's underneath the street. So that was the reason why they were able to kind of get the entire lateral itself removed and replaced. I was actually going to wait probably until January. There's a couple citizens that actually indicated they'd like to come to you all and appreciate that the program is in place and actually tell you that, but I was going to wait till probably January to do that. So it's been very well received. We have our procedures internally nailed down pretty well. We found, I believe we might have found one sump pump, which is good. It's a voluntary program, so if we do find a sump pump hooked up, you do not have to take advantage of it, but what we get there is then the data that you do have a sump pump hooked up, which is important to us. Right now, we have no way to collect that data. So, good program.
Kevin, is this gonna, I know most homeowners is 4-inch coming into the main. Will this, it can't go up a 4-inch line, can it?
Yes, it can go up a 4-inch
Oh,
line.
it can?
Yeah, because what we'll have is we'll have a tractor that pushes basically another camera along with it, and then that will be able to get into the 4-inch line and go up that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a smaller version of our 8-inch, which is, what we started with in the beginning when we bought it, so.
Very good. Okay. No further questions. Go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the acceptance of a quote from COE Equipment, Inc. for the purchase of a 6-inch lateral launch camera system and amend the 2022-2023 budget. Hydrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Patke,
Yes.
Holtmeyer, Coulter,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, the ordinance passes. Next.
Thank you, council.
You bet. Thank you, Kevin.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract with CDG Engineers, Inc. for engineering, design, and construction engineering services for the Front Street ADA Improvements Project.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
Okay, council. The Front Street project, as a reminder, is an 80/20 STP grant where the city pays 20 cents basically on the dollar to get the projects done. That does include engineering fees as well, up to a capped amount as part of the grant application. It would replace the curb and gutter, sidewalks, pavers, concrete intersections, and pave the roadway from Jefferson Street to Stafford Street. It is running behind right now. We were having some issues getting some approvals through the state, so it's a little bit behind as far as construction timeline goes. That doesn't surprise me at all with the current situation, but just FYI, I would have hoped to have this in front of you 9 months ago. I think we received 5 different SOQs, statement of qualifications for the job. We went through our typical qualifications process, which includes Darren, myself, and Andrea looking at these independently. We independently score them based upon a criteria that we set forth in 2017. I compile then the scores, and then out of that process, we get the most qualified firm. Once that happens, then we start contract negotiation with that individual firm. CDG Engineers, they do have local presence. One of their engineers, staff engineers, is within 15 miles here of Washington. They recently did a project, Laclede's Landing, I believe, in St. Louis, which has pavers, has ADA concerns. A lot of those things are pretty similar to what our project is here, which was one of the, honestly for me, one of the biggest tipping points. Basically, this is design services and construction inspection. The design service contract, $129,700. The construction inspection portion is $89,800. As always, we try to limit those things, especially on the construction services, because we can do a lot of that work in-house, so we keep an eye on that schedule. But again, 80 cents on the dollar, it makes sense to contract some of this stuff out. The total construction cost was around $900,000. When I put that application together, I did an inflation number of around 1.5% to 2%, which is what has been the target from the feds forever. Obviously, that did not hold true. So we're looking somewhere probably 10 to 12%. If you expand it out, that's about 1.1, 1.2 million is what I'm just anticipating construction would be now. That puts their design number around 10, 11%, and then their construction number somewhere around 8 to 10%. Those are all very within the realm of what a contract should be. So with that, we are asking you to approve this contract with CDG Engineers and allow us to start forth with survey and design.
Are we going to coordinate the rest of the burial of the electric lines with this construction?
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, that's been the goal. The
didn't
electric
we
line project's been delayed, right, for a variety of reasons. I don't want to pass blame on anyone specifically, but it actually works out fairly well, because if we can get in and get the electric lines buried a year in advance, then we could come right behind and pave the street out rather than have 2 construction projects within a 3-year period. So I've kind of been saying that, as the delays weren't necessarily a bad thing with Ameren, but that's kind of the goal would be is to marry them up on schedule as much as we could.
Didn't we let a contract out with an electric company to do the service work ahead already? Is that
We did, yeah.
already being done?
We've been meeting with, there's some easement work that has to be done. We have I think it's Understall Electric, actually, a contract with them. So there's some easement work that has to be done with the adjacent properties, which we're working on. There's 2 negotiations that we're working through. And then the equipment has just got long lead times. So it's been let. The contract's good. Again, trying to get the schedules to marry up would be better, probably. The street department's looking at putting the conduit in still. I think that's what we're still going to do, which saves us quite a bit of money because that's not what was initially anticipated. I think what we would do is place that conduit right on the inside of the gutter line. And the reason for that is then I could keep the sidewalks open, limit traffic, keep the sidewalks open, and then come in and cold patch those. but I don't want to point, sunshiny photos here. It's going to be a lot of construction going on downtown when this happens. So, paint pretty pictures. That's what I was after. So,
Thank you.
And John, this engineering portion
Yep.
does fit underneath that cap on that 80/20?
yeah, we had the estimate somewhere around 75,000 for construction engineering, and it was like 100 and, I forget I think it was 100,000 is what we had in the applicant. So a portion of this we do pay 100% out of, but that does, I mean, we have some right-of-way funds that I don't necessarily think we're going to use either. So, I mean, that's all part of when we estimate these things so far out in advance, we probably just need to pad the numbers a little more. However, that does go into, though, when East-West Gateway approves the projects, if you ask for all of it, you may not get any of it.
Right.
So we had that actually with Third Street last year. We didn't get that grant because I did fluff the numbers up pretty large, so we didn't have this issue, and we were just the odd man looking in. So there is a little game there. Did I answer that question? It's the vast majority.
Other questions? Okay, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract with CDG Engineers, Inc. for engineering design and construction engineering services for the Front Street ADA Improvements Project. Heidrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Patke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Coulter.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye.
By your vote, the ordinance is approved.
Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a release and settlement agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and February Properties, LLC.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
I will allow Mark to go ahead and fill in the blanks, but basically this will allow us to go ahead and purchase a property that we've had numerous violations on over the last 3 years,
Probably not that long, but
2 years. And so this will allow us to go ahead and take ownership of the property. Quite?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And then we will look forward to doing some additional steps after that, but this is the first step in that process.
Correct.
Long time coming to get to this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Questions, discussions?
There are a few. I just hope this gives some of the residents around there a little peace of mind.
Yeah, this needs to be done.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody, now they don't. Okay.
Okay.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a release and settlement agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and February Properties, LLC. Heidrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Patke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Coulter.
Yes.
Bear.
Absolutely.
Reed.
You bet.
Wessels.
Aye.
Oh, happy day. By your vote, the ordinance passes.
Cartwheels, girls. We want to see cartwheels.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an easement deed by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Tara Kelsick and Jedediah R. Nieder.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke. Who's got this?
John.
John would, but I can go ahead and do it as well. I think this is just an easement off
it is.
Third Street for
Third
one of
Street.
our projects we had. If you'll remember, some time ago, we had to acquire numerous easements along the corridor, and this property changed ownership.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, we had to get a bunch of construction easements along that project, and I totally blanked out there for a second. But yeah, it was a change in ownership. Pretty standard document, just gives us the temporary construction easement to get that project off the ground finally.
Probably to put a form behind a sidewalk is what it's for, to be
That's exactly what it's for. Yeah, literally a form behind a sidewalk.
brutally honest.
Do we have all the easements in place?
No, we
Do
don't.
not, we still have some holdouts.
It's wintertime. We're going to get it done, get it out the bid. Yeah, it's been a struggle. It's interesting that, we have blocks of street on the west end of town that we put new sidewalk in, and we had support left and right, and then we We have blocks here in town that has existing sidewalks, and we're actually trying to replace them and put in new ones to repair the street, and I'm running up against a lot of opposition on it, so I don't know what that is. The next time around, I think what we're going to do is, for Jefferson Street, for example, because it'll be a pretty similar situation, is we're actually going to have a meeting where everyone comes into the council chambers and explain the project rather than go door to door, and see if that strategy works a little bit better. I would have thought the other one would have worked better, but I was wrong, so we're going to try it that way.
Okay, thanks.
So the holdup is current sidewalk, we're offering to replace it, and they're saying, no, not on my property?
They don't want to sign the easement that you just, to
put a form.
that you're about to
But they
approve.
understand that?
They understand that. I mean, I've had, I guess previous policy has been that there was a 50-50 program with the city to where, like, just hypothetically, let's
Some of
say
those
in the
owners
early
have been there years
2000s,
ago.
Sure, right.
that if
Years
you
and years
wanted
ago.
your sidewalk replaced, you would pay 50%,
Right.
the city would pay 50%. And I've ran into that before, that like, well, I want my money back from 22 years ago. So it's a lot of history that we're sorting through.
Yeah, I'm telling you, John, that meeting that you'll have in-house here.
Yeah.
Goes a lot further. We did one years ago, right after I first got on the council for Winona and Lexington. Had all the residents in here. It just went so smooth.
Yeah, we've done it before on other things, just like as community meetings. Well, I appreciate that. We're definitely going to look at something different for sure. We went door to door on the west end of town. It worked great. And we've had other projects where it's gone very well. We just get a personal connection with the individual, and it's gone fine. But for whatever reason here, it's just that I've run into.
We anticipate we'll have more of them come back to you as we get closer. But if we don't, as John and I
We have
discussed, we've got a plan to go around it.
Yeah, and it's important that these are temporary construction easements, right? We're not looking to acquire right-of-way. We're not looking to take someone's property per se, or offer them a fair wage to get it. It's a temporary easement to literally tear out a concrete panel and put a concrete form. And then maybe 2 feet of new grass. So it's not that, I'm not sure what that is, but we're working through it.
How many people are still?
I think there's maybe like 5. There are 2 that are not going to do it. They just flat out told us. So our options there would be is you could try to acquire it via, some other method where you actually, condemn the easement, which you could pay them for it. I don't think either one of those solutions makes sense in something that's so minor. So I think we have a way to work around them. We can saw cut the pavement and not rip out the last foot. So they'll have the old piece. We'll use that as our concrete form and work our way towards the street. Just go around them.
Yeah.
And then I believe when you see that,
Then they'll ask us to come back. and
bingo,
replace
that's
it.
what I think is going to happen. is that-
They will, and then that's going to be, sorry.
Tough bananas.
Well, I think what's going to happen is once construction starts and you start saw cutting that pavement, they're going to be like, well, why don't you just remove the whole thing? Well, then sign this easement document, But we have a way to go around it.
Correct.
Anything else, guys? Sherry?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an easement deed by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Tara Kelsick and Jedediah Nieder. Heidrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Patke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Coulter.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Wessels.
I would just like to add one more thing. The other thing to remember is that those dollars for these STP projects, those are money that you put in your gas tank every single gallon. They go to the federal government. We have to fight to get that money back, and we've been pretty efficient and effective of doing that. And I've explained that to people, that this is your money that's going to Washington, D.C., and we are literally clawing it back to Washington. You've already spent it. It's not your local tax dollars that are spending that. You do it when you put gas in your tank. So.
Okay, thanks, John. By your vote, the ordinance passes. Sherry?
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the Stonecrest subdivision Plat 18 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
Oh, there you go. Let me zoom in.
So this is pretty straightforward. Rather than a boundary adjustment, it's more of a plat amendment. So this lot in Stonecrest is at the corner of Deutschcrest and Stonecrest Drive. The Stonecrest Lake is right here along the property. They came into the city and requested a permit for a pool. And you can see here, there was a sewer easement that was very wide that went through the proposed pool. Our staff went out and looked at it and actually located the sewer, and it is much further east than the easement is. And so they are just amending the easement, the sewer easement, making it skinnier so that they could fit the pool and have the pool not actually be over the sewer. So we've reviewed that, it went to site plan, no issues, but since it is a plat amendment that's already been recorded, and it has to be approved by council.
And that'll give us enough room if we have to get to that sewer line.
Well, we've had to get to that sewer line
Where's
recently.
the tin at?
Yeah, it does. I mean, that was part of it, was I wanted to make sure there was room on both sides to do the work. We've had to do some patches on that pipe recently, so that was part of the consideration.
Isn't gonna be any on around the pool deck or anything?
No, well,
That's a rock.
I don't know if I can answer that. If they put the pool over top the easement, that's something I can, but this gets it out of the way from where they think the pool is gonna go. We have not seen a site plan of their pool, so I don't know if I can answer that definitively yet.
I know we laugh at that, but it's
Yeah.
the next door neighbor.
This is
2 houses away from the problem we had.
2 doors down.
correct, and the way, so they came to us, actually, I got a call from their engineering firm that was actually laying out the site plan, and they found this easement, which is something that is their responsibility to find, right? But we would have found it as well, and we identified it, we located it, we did, this is the procedure to do it. If there is something, a utility necessarily in your way, and there's benefit for us to relinquish some of those property rights, why not do it the right way?
So my question when I seen this map, reading this weekend, is the homeowner 2 houses away says, you move the line for them, why don't you move the line for me?
We didn't move the sewer line.
We didn't move the
We
sewer
moved
line.
We move the
easement.
easement line,
Yeah.
but we can't move the easement line.
The other situation is that you've got an actual sewer.
It's a physical line.
I understand that, but
Okay.
we talked about
Yeah.
moving that easement line
Uh-huh.
away from the pool and more directly on top of the line, narrowing the easement line
So-
there also.
How
That's
do-
what we're doing here.
The question here is the width of that easement that you see centered on that existing pipe,
Yep.
okay, on the as-built pipe, gives us room to get in there, dig it up, repair it if we need to.
Right.
The other one, it's literally under the pool, and I would not be able to get in there and dig that up should I have to without damaging.
Right. I
The asset.
purposely, I understand completely. I agree with you 100% is what is right. My question is, if that homeowner comes back and says, you did it for them, do it for me, we have the fact that the pool's on top of the,
Correct.
Yes.
There's a
Line, not
physical
the-
problem.
That's correct.
At that. This
I didn't
one,
want to set a precedence by doing this and then.
No, this is the way you do
this
it.
is the correct, we've done this
We've done this several
10 times in 7 years, that I can, not that many, but quite a few.
You
Where
understand
we
my
would
point?
catch it at side.
We don't want to set a precedence there, that's all I'm saying. Okay, thank you.
And again, they came to us with their layout, basically saying, hey, we think there's a problem
Yeah,
here.
no, that's fine. That's,
More discussion? Sherry?
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the Stonecrest subdivision, Plat 18, in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Hydrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Patke.
yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Coulter.
Aye.
Bear.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye. By your vote, the ordinance passes. Last one.
A resolution approving a memorandum of understanding and authorizing certain other actions in connection with the proposed development of a manufacturing facility in the city of in the city.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
We don't introduce it, it's a resolution, we know that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't,
I do that every time.
Joe's
No,
just
you
used to,
didn't.
Joe's just used to throwing Holtmeyer. Holtmeyer.
That's all right.
That's all right, Joe. That's all right.
So I think hopefully you understand the terms that we've got within this. You've got the memorandum of understanding at the end of the resolution. We feel that this project, we're excited about this project. We wish we could tell a little bit more, but we'll hopefully be able to provide some more information later this week. Sal, do you have anything else you want to add?
since Holtmeyer made a motion, I'll make a second.
All those in favor, this a roll call vote?
No, it's not. You
No,
can-
all right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey. By your vote, the resolution passes.
Mayor's report.
Welcome to Washington, you guys, again. Gosh, this is exciting. For everybody else, tomorrow is Election Day, and so all I got is please vote tomorrow. Thank you.
City Administrator's report.
I just have a couple, we do not need an executive session tonight, so there you go. There's your first good news. That's rare. But just to give you a heads up, since we had to move our workshop, we will have that on the 21st at 6 o'clock. I'm going to check to see how many agenda items we have for that. I just don't want to rush through it, but there's a couple of important reports I know. We have been pushing off the Highway 100 median report that we have had available since this summer. And then the last time we were going to move it to you as what the committee had made a recommendation on. We were right in the midst of budget, and then we moved right on into some pretty involved public hearings. So we've just kind of put it to the backside for a while. I have asked Wayne for his crews to go out there and go ahead and cut the medians back between now and before the Thanksgiving holiday. I think he's going to be able to go ahead and get that completed. But we do have some recommendations from that committee. We'd like to do a presentation for you at that meeting. And then also some of you had asked for a report on our capital improvement sales tax. Where we're at to date, we're about at the midway mark on that. And so Mary had given you some handouts. We'll provide those again and be able to walk you through those and give you an idea of where we sit. So just wanted to bring those items to your attention. We'll be talking
Make
about
sure that report is in Aaron's terms, not in Mary Sprung terms.
we walked through it in my office. It is much clearer now, so we will do it again. So anyway. That's all I have.
Council comments.
Al?
I guess I probably ought to thank Jeff Patke for grilling all those burgers
Oh, my God.
at the American Bloom thing. It was a nice way to thank him,
You did a good-
actually.
you did a
It
good
was-
job.
that
Glad
was
I could
nice.
help. I'm glad I could be the forerunner, you guys.
Thanks for covering for me, Jeff.
The letter to the editor that Wayne got in, that was very nice, on the American Bloom, the fella from, where was he from, Wayne?
Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah, very nice.
Nice to know that somebody else besides us feels that way. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Patke. Second by Coulter. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey.
Yay.